woman who claimed she had s.ex with a ghost says it was the best she's ever had. A woman who claims she had sex with a ghost has hailed it the best she's ever had. Sian Jameson, 26, a writer from Shropshire, told how she recognized Robert when he floated into her bed from a painting in the house she was staying in. She'd just moved into the rented property in Aberystwyth, Wales, from North London and had noticed his handsome portrait, dated 1820, hanging above the mantelpiece. After their saucy, spiritual encounter, Sian said she sobbed when he left as she'd fallen in love. She explained how she'd moved to the area after splitting up from a long-term boyfriend. "Everywhere I went reminded me of my ex," she said. "I needed a fresh start." The remote cottage was built in the 16th century and was let fully furnished, complete with books and paintings. She recalled, "It was great, no distractions, just me, the trees and the sky. I was paying my rent by doing bits of copywriting and, because I didn't want for much in the countryside, I managed okay. I enjoyed the peace. After a long relationship, being on my own was quite exhilarating. I started to wonder whether I'd ever want a man in my life again." Sian told how she was shocked when she started having sexy dreams, but put it down to her libido expressing itself while she was sleeping. "I'd wake up thinking I was still in a relationship and was quite relieved to find myself alone," she said. But one night Sian experienced something quite different. "A few months after I'd moved in, I woke early one morning to find a dark-haired, very good-looking young man lying next to me," she recalled. "He was fully clothed, in a loose white shirt, a neck scarf and old-fashioned breeches. He had a kind of shimmer to him as if he was behind a fluttering voile curtain. I told myself I was dreaming and rolled away from him. As I faced the wall, I slowly realized I wasn't asleep and, suddenly I was frozen with fear. I felt a hand on my waist but the touch was strange, light and cool." Sian said she knew instinctively that he was a ghost and recognized him instantly as the man from the painting. Within seconds, she told how they began having sex. "He was very gentle and stroked my body tenderly," she explained. "During the lovemaking, I sensed all kinds of things about him. His name was Robert and he lived over 100 years ago. We didn't speak, it was as if he was communicating with me telepathically. His body was soft and light. Even when he moved on top of me, pressing down, he felt almost weightless. It was very strange, but the sex was amazing." Their encounter lasted for around an hour, and when Sian woke up, having fallen asleep in his arms, her ghostly lover had vanished. She admitted, "I was totally perplexed about what had happened. In fact, I started to wonder whether it had happened at all. In the end, I told myself it was just a very vivid dream and put it to the back of my mind." Spiritualist Sian has always believed in ghosts and claims to have seen apparitions before, but nothing like this had ever happened. A few days later she said her paranormal lover returned. Again, he appeared in the morning. We made love again but this time, afterwards, I watched him get up, get dressed and leave the room, she recalled. I was expecting to hear his footsteps on the wooden stairs, but there was no sound. I watched him through the open bedroom door and saw him kind of fade as he approached the top of the stairs. She got up and followed, but he disappeared. He appeared in one more time after that, Sian said. It was night time and I was just drifting off to sleep. All of a sudden, the duvet slid off me and I could feel a cool hand running up my thigh, under my nightshirt. I sobbed after he'd left that night. I guess I had fallen in love. Psychotherapist Tina Radzizwich said, although the experience of making love with a ghost felt very real to Sian, the specter sex always happened either early in the morning or late at night, while she was just waking up or just nodding off. It's well known that particular types of hallucination occur during the transition from wakefulness to sleep, hypnagogic hallucinations, or from sleep to wakefulness, hypnopompic ones. Such hallucinations can be extremely vivid and bizarre, and can include tactile, visual and auditory. These hallucinations are more common in young adults and women, and certain other drugs, prescribed or illegal, make them more likely. Like dreams, the subject of a hypnagogic or hypnopompic hallucination can often be of something that's been on your mind. Stress, anxiety, depression and trauma can make people more prone to this form of hallucination. Given that Sian's feelings after breaking up with her boyfriend were so strong that she felt the need to leave London and isolate herself in the country, that suggests she was struggling with a lot of difficult emotions. Finally, Sian says ghostly Robert was a gentle, tender lover. After a bad breakup, who doesn't feel a strong need to be soothed and cared for. I believe her dream lover represented the fulfillment of that wish. But parapsychologists believe that some ghosts do have the power to get quite physical. Ghost hunter G.L. Davis, who wrote the book Ghost Sex, The Violation, said, "No one knows what motivates ghosts to have sex with the living. Are we like lab rats to them? Is there some kind of battle for our souls? Are these ghost demons trying to break us? Who knows? One thing's for sure though, the people who experience it are certainly not dreaming." I spoke to many people, men and women, for my book and some of their stories are pretty shocking. They're all convinced the sex actually happened and wasn't imagined. And who am I to contradict them? Find G.L. Davis' book here. For weeks Sian couldn't stop thinking about her supernatural sex god and tried to look him up online. She found a painting of a young man who looked very like him by a 19th-century French artist, but that was as far as she got. Sian told a couple of close friends about what she'd experienced, but admitted that was a mistake. "They looked at me as if I was mad," she said. "So I just laughed it off, said something about eating too much cheese before bed, then kept quiet after that." Sian is now in a relationship with a living man. She said, "When I first told him about Robert, he thought it was funny. He reckons it was just a dream. But I know it wasn't a dream. It was real. And the sex was as good, if not better, than any other sex I've had. Just don't tell my boyfriend that." In July we told how ancient humans had naughty sex with a mysterious ghost species, according to scientists. Meanwhile Natasha Blasek said sex with a ghost was very pleasurable once she relaxed.